Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Park County Commission. If you would join me to the pledge. Zach, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, with the consent agenda, do we have some amendments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would move that we approve today's agenda with the following additions under the consent agenda. A response to the GOP public input concerns from 2 weeks ago. And then under normal business, at the end of our agenda today, to add a discussion with Brian Edwards on the Forest Service access agreement.
Second.
Then move to second to amend the agenda to include response to the GOP and then have Brian Edwards talk about the Forest Service maintenance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Development standards and regulations update. Commissioner Overfield.
Well, we're getting closer. They're putting the final touches on the document. All of the chapters have been completed now. Still checking some wording and for any kinds of typos or things like that. It looks like it will be released on August 13th to the public with a public hearing for planning and zoning on September 16th, 9 a.m. I don't think there's anything else that's actually changed. There's a few little minor tweaks that we're looking at here toward the end of putting this out. And certainly we have made quite a few changes since the June public hearings. People need to look at the new document, not the June document, because there's quite a bit of zone changes, use changes that we received information from the public on during those June meetings. So please make sure that when you do comment on the document, you are commenting on the one that is released on August 13th, not an old one. Appreciate that. Any other questions on the DSR?
Mr. Chair, Nasi we will get to see it before the 13th though.
We will be receiving a copy, yes, to review for
When will
language.
that be?
She was hoping for by the end of this week.
This week? Okay.
It's my understanding.
Anything else from DSR? Okay, we'll open it up to public comment for non-agenda or agenda and non-agenda items. Anybody from the public who would like to comment, we ask you to come forward and use the mic and state your name for the record.
I thought Kelly was going to comment.
I did too.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Hi, folks. My name is Linda Rethman. I live in Clark, and I'm really here about the DSR. And the Clark community is impressed with the work that has happened. We do have some issues with it going forward. And that's pretty much what my statement is. So we're looking forward to this new published piece coming out August 13th. And we hope we probably will be holding up the works at that point, but we'll move forward all together. And thank you for this time.
And if I could just say one thing, make sure that as Commissioner Overfield said, that they're looking at the new document.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
There is a group of us that, and I think that you all are very much aware of it, that are trying to follow along as best as our lives will allow.
Right.
And the main issues are the VRBO, Airbnb, some of the commercial things that are pretty much settled. We're pretty happy with that. Some of the land usage things, and we're not as versed with it as we want to be. And that's part of the holdup, is we want to be more thoroughly involved with it before it's official. And there you have it.
And they just encourage them. We want the public comment, so encourage them to.
Yeah, as much as what we can, we are.
Sure.
I mean, it's we're using the Powell paper, we're using Facebook, we're considering a mailing. Yeah, because we don't want our lives to change in Clark. We like it the way it is. Growth is inevitable, change is inevitable. We just want it to be controlled, and we want to protect what's already there. So, thank you.
Thank you for your input.
Linda Rathman. It's RETA. Thank you.
The next thing is not a public hearing, but Kim, do you expect other people to show up for this?
Mr. Chairman, I don't know. I've not heard one way or the other.
Okay, well, let's just hold off for 10
Better
minutes.
wait. You mean we could go to the restroom?
Now you can go.
I will go now.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did.
Ready? Okay, next on our agenda is Kim Dillman and Erica Decker with Park County Planning and Zoning. And this is reference Bighorn Mountain minor subdivision 99 for rural plat, final plat and subdivision improvement agreements.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the staff report packet was provided to you in advance of today's meeting. All the facts and the findings are within the packet. I'll try to summarize now some of the main findings and facts, but the entire packet will remain in the official file in our department. So Ryan Hobson is the applicant for this subdivision. He submitted a final plat application on July 1 of this year. A revised final plat was received on July 17th of this year. He requests approval to create this 3-lot minor subdivision. One lot will be 2.39 acres, one lot will be 2.24 acres, and one lot will be 30.77 acres. And that will be for residential and agricultural use. The applicant is also requesting approval of his subdivision improvements agreement, and the county attorney's office approved that subdivision agreement as to form on July 15th of this year. Ownership of these properties are RH Building Investments and Watt Properties. The applicable regulations for this development are our Park County, Wyoming 2025 development standards and regulations. A public hearing is not required for minor subdivision final plat review. Relevant agencies were notified as required. No new agency responses were received after the Board of County Commissioners reviewed the sketch plan. And I believe that was last month in July. We've not received any public comments. I'm sorry, you reviewed the sketch plan in June. The Board of County Commissioners reviewed and approved the sketch plan for this subdivision on June 16th of this year. They approved with conditions noted in Resolution 2026-29. The applicant has placed the appropriate notes and conditions on the final plat with regard to high groundwater, water quality test results, permitting requirements for wells with the state engineer's office and the Wyoming Right to Farm and Ranch Act. And Mr. Chairman, I mentioned those because those were some of the conditions that the Board of County Commissioners had with the sketch plan review. Applicable final plat specifications have been met according to our appendices in our regulations, C, E, and G, and the applicant submitted supporting documents as specified in Appendix D of our regulations. Mr. Chairman, our recommendation is should the board choose to approve the final plat of Bighorn Mountain MS 99, as well as the subdivision improvements agreement, we recommend the following conditions. One is the approval of this final plat shall expire after 18 months unless the final plat is signed by the chairman of the board and recorded in the clerk's office. Upon written request prior to the expiration date and for good cause shown, the board may grant one extension of the expiration date for a period not to exceed 6 months. Number 2, the applicant shall record the approved subdivision improvements agreement in the office of the clerk and recorder prior to initiating the required improvements. Number 3, the applicant shall complete the terms of the subdivision improvements agreement timely and provide evidence of completion of all improvements to the Planning and Zoning Department. Number 4, after the terms of the subdivision improvements agreement have been met and the applicant has been notified of such by the Planning and Zoning Director, the applicant shall provide the final plat Mylar to the Planning and Zoning Department to be reviewed and signed by the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners. Number 5, once conditions 2 and 4 have been met, the applicant, in the presence of a member of the Planning and Zoning Department staff, shall record the final plat and all required final plat submissions in the office of the county clerk and recorder. And number 6, the applicant shall otherwise comply with standards in the Park County Development Standards and the minimum subdivision requirements as set forth in Wyoming Statute 185306. And Mr. Chairman, just a reminder, if you are so inclined, we would like to see you have a separate motion for the final plat, separate motion for the subdivision improvements agreement, but then we feel one resolution would be sufficient. And we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Bossy?
Just have a question, Kim. I haven't seen this very often, but on this particular plat, there is a building zone.
Yeah.
I guess, to deal with the underground drain easements that we're seeing on the bottom part of this. When they come in then to get a building permit, does the staff review that as to where location's gonna be in comparison to the plat?
Commissioner Overfield, Mr. Chairman, I believe we have kind of gotten the habit when we see any request for any development to go to map server. And we certainly look for covenants, but we also look for plats is kind of what my habit's been. I think Erica's been the same way.
Okay,
So hopefully, if this is approved, we will remember this, catch this.
thank you. Yep.
Um,
State his name for the record, I guess.
What's your name for the record, sir?
Ryan.
Okay,
So we are gonna. Our forever place is on the adjoining 40. So we did a no build zone on the 30-acre parcel. I'm not sure if your questions about that or about.
Right.
So the no build zone was basically like, we're trying not to have some bias and build a big house like right in our view.
Oh.
So we kind of did that, just to protect our views or whatever in there. And then, we did find, and I think you guys were part of that meeting, but we did find a privately owned underground drain that we did a no build zone, like where that drain is.
Okay.
An easement.
I wasn't sure what one you're asking about,
Okay.
but one of them was just to not impede on views, and then the other was for safety. No one knows exactly what that drain is. It appears that it was put in, during the time that it put in top grade, but just to be safe, we did it. And
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Kim, my question is with condition 3. It says that states that the applicant shall complete the terms of the subdivision improvement agreement in the timely and provide evidence. What is timely?
That is a
Problem with this, but
Yeah.
it was brought up actually last week and I called Erica on some questions on a different subdivision of these improvements were not done yet. But in that one, and basically they sold the lot, the people couldn't even start to build because the improvements, and anyway, it's a whole different issue. But my question is, shouldn't there be a specific time?
Well, but, Commissioner Teal, Mr. Chairman, I don't know that we can do that. Of course, the final plat expires after 18 months, so you have that. I don't know that there's
So
any
it would be
that we
18
can
months as well.
that we can require these things done. Our hope is that they get done sooner rather than later. But yeah, we don't have a definition of what timely means. No day, no months.
I guess my point is that so a developer could sell all the lots without doing any of the stuff.
Well, no. So if this is approved today, it will not be the final plat. It will not be recorded because this is a build SIA. It will not be recorded until any of this stuff is done. So those lots cannot be sold till these improvements are.
And the difference between this and the other issue then, Mr. Chairman, is the other particular one, we're not gonna name names right now, was required a bond.
Bond, yes.
And so
Yeah.
a bonded one, they
Ye-
could.
Yes, with the bond, when that final plat is approved, then they can record that final plat, then they can
all the
sell lots. Because we know, because with the bond, the county has that money, it's guaranteed. So we know those improvements are going to be made.
How do we establish, and I know we're kind of getting off base here, I'm sorry, but how do we establish what that price is? What is that number of that bond, that insurance policy, basic to confirm that they put in subdivision improvements agreements in together?
So with the bond SIA, we get estimates from the developer, which comes, let's say, from the utility providers. And then that bond amount is 125%
Okay.
of that total.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
anything else?
With that, Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve the subdivision improvements agreement.
Second,
I was just gonna say for Bighorn Mountain Minor Subdivision. MS
Second
99.
to approve the Bighorn Mountain subdivision improvement agreements. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the Bighorn Mountain Minor Subdivision 99 final plat with staff recommendations.
Second.
Then moved to second to approve the Bighorn Mountain Minor Subdivision 99 final plat with staff recommendations. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, resolution 2026-40.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Did quite a few of those estimates. So I
Mhm.
did quite a few of those estimates for SOA agreements with WB. Would they come out and get the estimate for what it's gonna take if they.
Well, I've talked to this person a couple different times, and from what.
You're up, Brian.
To me, I refer to a time.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Because I think how somehow the communication didn't get, that's something to me that should have been. Revealed as full of them.
Should have, but they have to go after the law. It's a pain. It's a pain when it's done that way.
Well, if they get past, we will, if they go past that, but the deadline isn't until April of next year.
Thing is, they'll just-
Thank you for coming.
You know,
No idea that I want.
You're good neighbors.
Whatever.
All right. Few minutes early, but we got Brian Edwards, Park County Engineer, to review Lane 5 culvert replacement project, close out and consider issuing certificate of substantial completion. Brian, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, the county worked with a local contractor, CK Civil, to get a culvert replaced on Lane 5, kind of over on the eastern side of the county. And that project work was recently completed, and they ended up, what I just passed out to you was the original bids, and I apologize, I was supposed to submit that with the invoice this morning. We did have some things that were a little different. They ended up coming out a little bit more expensive, in that we had to do some more materials that were the road materials were in pretty bad shape, but we were able to work a lot of that out with the contractor by offsetting that with some other items that weren't needed. And so we're right at the contract amount with no increase in the contract cost. CK Civil did a good job on the project and worked with us on the schedule, the road closure. And I feel like they did as good as they could do to get it completed and road opened back up as soon as they could. So anyway, we're wrapping up the project. It was a pretty short and sweet project. And the project was considered substantially complete, obviously pending your approval, July 24th, 2026. So basically what that means is we advertise in the papers for 41 days to allow subcontractors and suppliers an opportunity to make sure that they've been paid, see if there's any objections. And during that time, we would withhold 5% retainage, which works out to be $9,887. So we would hold that until I think the end of that public notice period. I said in my email was September 14th, I think. And I think the date, I don't know if you got my email, was July 24th is the substantial completion date. But I guess today would be just to accept the project as substantially complete, and we kind of move forward for the public notice period for the subcontractors and suppliers. Then we would come back to you to release the retainage at the end of that 41-day notice period. The contractor did a good job. We were happy with the work.
Go ahead, bud.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank Brian for going through with this. I mean, we had quite a people, contractors call out and locals that, we need to farm more of this type of project that is specialized out to the locals, and it does come back around eventually in the taxpayers' money and use. And so I think this was a very success story here, and it freed us up to do a lot of our basic maintenance, if you will. So we might have been able to do a little cheaper on in-house, but we'd have lost a lot of our maintenance on it. So I guess we have discussion, but I move to approve substantial completion and authorize payment for substantial completion in less 5% for an effective date of 7/24/26.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to do what he said. To close out the project and issue the certificate of substantial completion. Further discussion. Signify all by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, board members. The next item, I believe, was the remind me, the library, of the ARPA.
Consider relocation of ARPA funds. Consider that unaccounted for project expenses, Fairfield County.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, so what happened on that? As you know, the Board of County Commissioners allocated, or I guess early on with the library project, which is now completed in operation for the Powell Library, had earmarked and designated, I believe it was $3 million, right? Dusty, 3 million, I think, that was originally allocated towards that library project. The rest of it was all to be paid through with state library funds that we were able to secure, that the library department was able to secure from the state. And most of the project was largely almost all paid for through that state library funds. We thought we had a little bit left in that, and it was a mistake on my part. I thought that that everything had been paid, but there were some deposits. We paid deposits on some of the library bookcases and caps and things that I didn't recognize, or it was my failure to not know those were still hanging out there. Bottom line is, once the new budget started, we had asked, or the commissioners had moved to move the ARPA money, local ARPA that was not used for the library project, the $3 million-ish to the LEC project for the HVAC. But when we got these last bills in, I was working with Steve, we found out that we did not have enough in the state ARPA to cover those. And so bottom line is, we're about 80,000 short from paying those bills. And so I guess we'd asked to pull some of that money back. The other thing is, there's a few issues that are not a contractor issue, but some drainage related things related to the library that's kind of been ongoing, that we've been watching with a lot of these high intensity, short duration storms that we get here in Wyoming. We've had some drainage issues that we're trying to correct. There might be some additional expense with that, or I anticipate there will be. So I guess I'd ask that that the commissioners consider reallocating $100,000, which should cover the 80,000 to pay the bills, 20,000 to pick up anything that could potentially come up related to fixing this drainage on the library. And that should cover us for anything that we know that's hanging out there.
Mr. Chair, so if Grodhouse comes back and says they could fix it for $5,000, bless you, put that on the minutes. Do you come back again and saying we want to transfer 15,000 back to the law enforcement
We
center?
could, we'd probably like give it a month, 2 months, and see make sure there's nothing else that we're forgetting, but that would be what I'd anticipate, that if it's anything that's left over, we'd come back and yeah, you could reallocate that to either the LEC or something else as you see fit.
Mr. Chair, just for like public that are maybe wondering, if we do the move of the dollar amount, it won't impact anything with the HVAC system that's been budgeted already for the LEC.
Correct. Should not impact that at all.
I guess, Mr. Chair, my question is, the whole Powell Library thing. We had a lot of different fingers in the pots and, you know, from Friends of the Library, state, the board, the state. And we've, to expedite some of it, we put deposits down on things to get things rolling and things like that. All of that has been reconciled and we're where we need to be. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. I know that Commissioner Overfield may have a better accounting of this. I believe there's still some monies we're trying to get back from state library and reimbursements. But as far as reconciling the expenses, everything that I know about or that we know about has been accounted for.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we had budgeted 3 million out of the ARPA dollars if needed. The original estimates on the library was about 9 million something. The state grant was 8 million. And so the commissioners were agreeing to look at the rest of that. The library actually came in at right around that 8 million. And so that's why we kind of ended where we did with just a little bit of timing issue with these ones that we had put down some deposits on as far as getting some furnishings and things here. And that's where this difference is coming up from. So we had kind of jumped the gun a little bit, transferring the money out of ARPA to, or not out of ARPA, but within the ARPA to the HVAC at the LEC. And so this is just kind of a correction, moving a little bit of it back to finish the library project.
Mr. Chair, do we need then a motion to reallocate?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd make a motion to reallocate ARPA funds from the LEC HVAC to the library up to, do you want,
100.
or I won't do up to, I'll just do 100,000 for project expenses for the PAL library.
Second.
They moved the second to reallocate ARPA funds to the tune of 100,000 from the law enforcement
HVAC.
HVAC, law enforcement HVAC, back to the library project. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Brian, we amended the budget or amended the agenda to discuss the Forest Service road agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Yes, so as we discussed a little bit in staff meeting, I've been in communication with the forest engineer. And as you know, we've had, since I've been with the county more than 12 years here, and long before that, there was a shared maintenance agreement between the county and the Forest Service that impacted 3 county roads, which is Hunter Creek Road, Sunlight, the road up in Sunlight, and then the Wood River Road down, basically the extension of that down to Kerwin. And so those 3 roads, we have worked together with Forest Service to maintain those over the years. Those have historically been 4-year agreements that are amended every year. That agreement with the Forest Service expired January 1st. So we are technically not under an agreement with the Forest Service. In talking to them, there's at the staff level and then with some things going on, I guess, within the Forest Service, and this is a lot of it's political at a pretty high level, that though they do not anticipate that they will be in a position to go into an agreement with us again this year. So they can't see us, or redoing or going into a shared maintenance agreement. And then there's really no guarantee after that. I think with funds being tight, and like I say, a lot of political things going on, that it does not look promising for the foreseeable future that we will continue, or that the Forest Service will continue their obligation on that shared maintenance. And basically what that's been is they pay $15,000 a year that they basically cut us a check every spring to help offset our cost to maintain those roads. And the biggest one that affects is the end of the county road on Wood River to Kerwin, because the other 2, Hunter Creek Road and Sunlight, we do maintain those anyway as county roads. There's private property and things on there that we take responsibility for. So I think the biggest one is that road to Kerwin. And so commissioners had asked that I come today to basically say that, maybe whether or not the commissioners want to make a decision on how we should proceed with that in mind, that we will not have the financial support from the Forest Service on that 15,000. One thing I'd like to add, just for the record and for the public, is at staff level, politics aside, we have a great working relationship with the Forest Service. Our project up there where the bridge washed out on Hunter Creek, we've got to work with them on getting a temporary construction easement. We work together on access issues all the time. Work, trading out things, working together on things. So I just want to acknowledge that and I don't want to lose that we've got a great working relationship with the staff.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to concur that we do have a great working relationship with the Forest Service locally here in Park County. And there's a lot of land that obviously we share. But with the budget issues that we could possibly be facing, and I actually said this starting 7 years ago, I thought Forest Service is by far getting the best end of the deal here. It's very low cost to them for the maintenance that we do. And I've never felt that we were reimbursed what we even partially our costs. So, the fact that this agreement has ran out and it doesn't look like we have the immediate opportunity to renew it, even modify it, I would like to cease any further maintenance on forest roads beyond our county obligation at the end of the maintenance that we already do. And I know that may be showing inconvenience to some of the locals, but we're being faced with a lot of infrastructure that we have to keep up because of 78% of federal land in our county. And to be honest, even though we got an increase in PILT, that still doesn't touch what it's actually cost us to maintain all these roads and bridges and things like that so that the public has access. And it's not just the local public. And I know there's going to be some complaints because of the road may get rough. It's already somewhat of a rough road, but these are the things that are going to have to be faced. People have to pay up or do without. That's just how it is. So I guess if we are requiring an action here, I would move to make a motion to cease any further maintenance until we renew a specific agreement, which we can look at that time with the Forest Service beyond maintenance of our own county roads.
Mr. Chair, how does it usually work? Is it the public calls us, or do they get a hold of the Forest Service if there's a complaint about the roads, and the Forest Service then contacts us?
That's typically on on-call things, but in addition, we do regular routine maintenance as well, as in we will grade it a couple times a year. If we have a bad winter, it's sometimes mid-July or July before we can even get in there to get it opened up. But we do routine grading maintenance of the road, regardless of if there's any calls. And then like the other day, there was a call, somebody got stranded in there. It was like a mudslide, and we got a call to, could we come in and help them get the material out of the way so they could be not stranded.
The reason I'm asking is if the Forest Service feels that, they're not getting any complaints, so why pay the 50 grand? But if they're actually receiving complaints, then they may find value in it. Would it be possible to do as called on, give them a price, I guess, if they call and say, we need this road improved? How much would it cost? Can we do it that way?
We could certainly do that and bring that back to you if there's a need or request for us to do some maintenance. Sometimes there's things like a cattle guard need fixed or a culvert cleaned out. And if there's something like that, we could do that on a case by case basis with you.
First of all, I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
And then a couple things, it's 15,000, just not 50, just to be
Okay,
clear.
15,000.
Yeah, just to be clear. And I guess I was going to ask Brian, a couple of things. First of all, you talk about that we do some normal stuff in there so we don't run into huge issues. Can you put a ballpark on that for a value per year? And then my second thing is, I'm not sure that I would want to go with put a price on it where even though it is the Forest Service, where we're competing with local contractors and people that they used to hire to do road maintenance and things like that to maybe help some of our own constituents with their business and be able to keep our road and bridge group working on our own public roads.
And one of the things I would add to this whole thing, that without an agreement, we don't have authority.
No.
They're not gonna let the private citizen go up there and go down that road at the greater. So without any kind of agreement, where's our authority? You can work on
That's a
it.
good point.
I know they're gonna just let us do it, but I don't
Yeah.
see where we have the authority.
That's a very good point.
If there's a problem.
And Mr. Chair, maybe a motion or an action is irrelevant, because you're right. We don't have that. We can just stop. We don't have an agreement to do it, but I would definitely request that we instruct our crews to see. And I do want to say that in the event of emergency, as you mentioned, a mudslide or something like that, constituents or even the public in general trapped, or a life, health and safety thing, you know, we're gonna do that.
What we can, yeah.
Right.
But-
But just general maintenance, this isn't working.
Also, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Oldfield had asked, ballpark what our costs are. I don't have it specifically for the Kerwood Road, but generally for all three roads runs in the $80,000 to $120,000 a year. That's our labor, equipment, materials when needed, but that's generally what it runs. And then we're offset by the 15,000 received from the Forest Service.
Thank you.
I think another issue with the people that trapped, for the whole time I was with search and rescue, we rescued people, not vehicles. So we would go in there and get the people out, and it's up to them to get their vehicles out. So,
Vote on the motion.
yeah, okay, we have a motion to cease maintenance until we get a further agreement. In a second, anything more further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks. Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Did I pay 50,000?
Mr. Chairman, I would
Make sure. that's
move to adjourn.
clarified on.
Second.
Been moved and second to adjourn. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried.